Hello, it's Kathy, and I picked a card from Touched by a Horse by Melissa Pierce, artwork by Jan Taylor. This is the card that I picked, and it says, Grace. You have received grace, and many natural gifts have been bestowed upon you. Now is the time to heighten your awareness of all things, of all the ways grace shows itself in you and your life. Note that some are small distinctions while others show up as talents beyond measure. Your grace is uniquely your own. Additional aspects of your personal grace remain unknown to you at this time. Now is the moment to explore and discover more of them. Today is your perfect time to honor all with which you are naturally blessed and to stand in gratitude for it. Appreciate grace. And again, I'm going to read from Reverend Moon's autobiography. And I just will read parts that I highlighted because I felt that they taught a good lesson or that they were just a good message. So Reverend Moon is saying, I wonder every day why God called me. Of all the people in the world, why did he choose me? It wasn't because I had a particularly good appearance or outstanding character or deep conviction. I was just an unremarkable, stubborn, and foolish young boy. If God saw something in me, it must have been a sincere heart that sought him with tears of love. Whatever the time or place, love is most important. God was searching for a person who would live with a heart of love and who, when faced with suffering, could cut off its effects with love. I was a boy in a rural village with nothing to show for myself. Even now, I insist uncompromisingly on sacrificing my life to live for God's love and nothing else. There was nothing I could know on my own, so I took all my questions to God. I asked, God, do you really exist? And that was how I came to know that he did, in fact, exist. I asked, God, do you have any cherished desires? And this was how I came to know that he too had cherished desires. I asked him, God, do you need me? And this was how I discovered that he had use for me. On those days when my prayers and dedication connected to heaven, Jesus appeared to me without fail and conveyed special messages. If I was earnest in my desire to know something, Jesus would appear with a gentle expression and give me answers of truth. His words were always on the mark, and they struck deep into my bosom like sharp arrows. These were not mere words, they were revelations about the creation of the universe that opened the door to a new world. When Jesus spoke, it seemed like a soft breeze, but I took his words to heart and prayed with an earnestness strong enough to uproot a tree. Gradually, I came into a new realization about God's purpose in creating the universe and his principles of creation. During the summer of that year, I went on a pilgrimage around the country. I had no money. I would go to homes and ask to be fed. If I was lucky, I caught a ride on a truck. This was how I visited every corner of the country. Everywhere I went, I saw that my homeland was a crucible of tears. There was no end to the sorrowful sighs of suffering from hungry people. Their woeful lamentations turned to tears that flowed like a river. This wretched history must end as quickly as possible, I told myself. Our people must not be left to suffer in sorrow and despair. Somehow I need to find a way to go to Japan and to America so that I can let the world know the greatness of the Korean people. Through this pilgrimage, I was able to redouble my determination toward my future work. As I clenched my two fists, my mind became totally focused, and I could see clearly the path I had to follow in my life. I absolutely will save our people and bring God's peace on this earth. Okay. Now, I didn't I didn't highlight all of that, but I just felt that I should read the whole thing to you because I thought it was important to know that he's Reverend Moon. He was just a regular person in the sense that, he said he was stubborn. He wasn't perfect, but he was called and he had a sincere heart. So that gives me encouragement that even though I am very much what I called myself a broken vessel, um, I have a sincere heart. I I say that, but I still have weaknesses because like I thought to myself, the Bible talks about fasting, and when I was in the church, I did a 7-day fast. And right now, I'm like, oh my God, that 7-day fast, um, it wasn't easy. And you physically feel extremely weak when you're walking. And you have to really make a very decisive, you have to really decide, I'm going to do this for God and go for it. But I don't feel so motivated to do something like that. So I hope that there are people out there who feel much more motivated than me. Um, I feel like, oh gosh, I I feel like, oh, I want to take it easy. You know, I don't want to do hard things like that. Anyway, I'm sorry. You're seeing that I'm very human and very much weak, and so at least let me get the word out. At least let me do that much, so that maybe somebody out there who has more chutzpah than me can help God. So I hope so. I hope there's somebody out there who can be devoted to God and is not as reluctant as I am to do fasting. I'm building myself up. I have to pray more about it so that I can do it. But we'll see. I'll let you know. Anyway, thank you all for listening and take care.